Musst du nochmal Pipi? Da steht nämlich no restrooms for 1 hour.
It's a marble cave. My name is Corey. Top of a cave, and that cave goes 50 stories below your feet. All the way down to our waterfall room. You know how we get down there though? There's no elevator, that's for sure, but we have 500 stairs going down to the bottom of our cave. Our waterfall room is 505 feet below these entrance. You're way down there, guys. Then we're going to go up 150 stairs before we put you on a train right there that hopefully brings you all the way back to this building right up here. Yeah, heard that. Glad you heard that. Just like any train in the history or any ride in the history of theme parks, it will sometimes break down. Or, and this is the more likely scenario, if it starts to lightning. When we are in the cave, we cannot operate that train. You know what happens then? We get to see the cave in reverse at no extra charge. Stairs up to 150 stairs down, that's no big deal, right? All right, so you get over here. That turns 500 stairs down and 500 stairs back up. And that is a big deal, guys. Trust me on that. I've been many times. So those 500 stairs aren't as fun going up as they were coming down. This is considered a very strenuous half-mile tour if the train doesn't work. Full-mile tour, okay? Now, we don't recommend this tour if you have weak ankles, weakness, back issues, neck issues, hip issues.
Wir sind jetzt bei der Marvel Cave. Leider nicht in der Bat Cave. Und jetzt geht's, ich glaube, 500 Stufen nach unten. Später geht es 150 Stufen nach oben und den Rest fährt hoffentlich ein Zug, wenn er nicht kaputt geht. Ich glaube, das erzählt er immer wieder. Andererseits kann ich mir vorstellen, dass das Ding kaputt geht. Und vorne ist ein Loch, da muss man durchpassen. Das ist nämlich die engste Stelle in dem ganzen Ding, was hier auf dieser Karte ist. Das hört ihr, glaube ich, jetzt von dem Dude auch mal selbst. Ja. Und wir machen es jetzt gleich hier. Ist übrigens im Preis inkludiert. Also steile These, aber ich behaupte mal, die machen gerade mehr Panik als nötig. Also so viel Sicherheitsansagen und was man, wie oft man jetzt gebeten wurde umzudrehen, wenn man irgendwas hat. Aber gut, man kennt es ja auch, wie die Leute sich dann anstellen, wenn es dann hart auf hart kommt. Wow. Hör auf.
As you guys come on in, feel free to look over that edge or don't, whatever you're feeling, and then fill in all this space in this platform for me. Wow.
Sehr, sehr, sehr beeindruckend. Wie neblig das hier drin noch ist, ne?
Welcome to Marble Cave, guys. If you're feeling... Like I said, welcome to Marble Cave. I'm so glad that you decided to do this tour today. To start things off, I'm going to go over a little bit of history. So our cave was discovered back in the 1500s by the Osage Native American tribe. They were hunting a bear through these mountains and they chased him over this hill here and this bear disappeared. So they sent in one of their best men and one of their dogs. And they found him hanging out on this ledge right above your heads here. So a fight broke out, and long story short, the bear, the dog, and the man, well, they all three fell into our hole here. Yeah. So his tribesmen, they were a little freaked out by this, and so they kind of look over and they can't see him, and so they're yelling down for him, but all they hear are their own voices calling back at them. To make matters a little bit more spooky, a big black billowing cloud flew up out of the earth, and they thought they were evil spirits. Does anybody know what that actually was?
Bats.
Bats, yeah. We know them to be bats. The natives thought they were evil spirits, and that's how our cave got its first name, which is Devil's Den. Now you guys are standing in the cathedral room, but it doesn't have that name just for kicks. It has some lovely acoustics, and so we are going to demonstrate that. So on the count of 3, we're all going to yell, "Hello, Marble," and then we're going to be silent. All right? 1, 2, 3. Hello! Yeah. Well, guys, we are about to continue, but before...
Nennt mich Lara Croft. Ich bin Lara Croft, Alter. Aber warum läuft jetzt Musik hier drin? Ich fand das jetzt ohne Musik irgendwie cooler. Was soll das denn?
Warum vor allem diese Musik? What the fuck?
ist hier echt noch hier unten ein Fotopoint. Aber das dauert doch dann Ewigkeiten, wenn du jetzt hier 45 Leute abfertigen willst. Sie sieht super rot aus. Nee.
Okay.
Sag das Wissen. So, Mr. Krabs meldet sich noch mal kurz zu Wort. Also, die machen jetzt echt hier von allen Gruppen Fotos. Und so lange werden wir hier gesammelt. Und dann gehst du hier runter mit Star Wars Musik. Was ist denn das bitte? Das war, als wir reingekommen sind, ich hatte wirklich Gänsehaut. Das war wirklich beeindruckend. Ne? Und jetzt machen die es alles kaputt. Weil die Höhle lebt ja davon, dass es eine Höhle ist. Und die ist halt echt, also ich war jetzt noch nicht in so vielen Höhlen.
Man braucht jetzt ja nicht noch so viel Entertainment nebenbei, ne?
Ja. Und vor allem vorher dann dieses Geschwätz. Ich habe mich gedacht, ich gehe jetzt auf die krasseste Expedition der Menschheitsgeschichte. Ich wollte mich noch vorher...
Noch so wenig fertig.
Wollte ich mich noch gegen Malaria impfen lassen, bevor wir runtergehen, so wie die getan haben. Also ich finde es so geil, wie das Tageslicht hier reinscheint und wie neblig das dann noch ist und so. Also sehr, sehr, sehr beeindruckend, sehr cool. Nehmt das auf jeden Fall mit. Und jetzt weiß ich auch, warum die Tour hier unten eine Stunde dauert.
Also wir sind jetzt schon eine Viertelstunde unterwegs.
Ja.
Take you back in time to when there was no tower, there was no walkway, there were no lights. Guys, this is what it would have looked like back when they started taking tours here. Now, we started giving tours back in the 1890s. To get down here, you had to take a 70-foot ladder from our sinkhole to the top of our debris pile here. This is the point where you would be given overalls with a leather padded seat. You would slide all the way to the bottom down here, and you would be given a candle, at which point you would go and explore the cave. When you were done exploring, you would simply return to the bottom of this pile here. You would be given a pickaxe, and you would just work your way back up to the top. Throughout the years, of course, they added these lights in, and the walkways and the pathways. Guys, in the 1950s, we started hosting square dances down here. Throughout the years, there have also been a few weddings. There's great acoustics in here, of course, and also free air conditioning. In the 60s, we actually flew a hot air balloon in here. $7 City wanted to do something marketing-wise, and they were going to try to fly this hot air balloon up top, but it was so windy those few days that they ended up moving all the equipment down here, flying the hot air balloon in this very room. We've actually flown hot air balloons in here on 4 different occasions. Another noteworthy occasion was in the 80s when a crazy lady named Becky sat on top of her hot air balloon, rode it to the ceiling there. She was the first person and the only person to ever touch the ceiling of our cave. Then in the 90s, to celebrate 100 years of giving tours, we flew not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 full-size hot air balloons in this very room. But the cathedral room isn't just cool because of the events that have taken place here throughout the years. It's also really cool because of these 2 formations on either side of me. Over here to my right is the Liberty Bell. Now it started out as a stalactite on our ceiling here, but eventually it got so heavy that it fell to the ground. It is hollow in the middle, like a bell, and over time it's grown this crack. So we call it the Liberty Bell for that reason. Over here to my left is the Sentinel. Now the Sentinel was named by the Lynch sisters. The Lynch sisters were 2 of the original tour guides in this cave. They were giving tours from the time that they were 17 and 14 all the way up into their later 70s, guys. This would have been way back in the 1890s through the early 1900s. They called it the Sentinel because it guards our spring room. If you listen carefully, you can hear that water behind there. It is a column. That's when a stalagmite and a stalactite form together. You will notice it is the only thing holding up our room today. And when I say that, I actually mean there's nothing holding up this room. This is completely natural, guys. But to distract you from that fact, I'll have you look behind you there. Back to that room, you pass by that sign there. That is the mammoth room. That is actually the second largest room in our cave. It's also home to about 40,000 bats. So if you ever come back into our lantern light tour, we do take our tours back there, and you might be able to see some of our bats. With that being said, guys, we are about to move forward. There are a few things, again, that we need to go over. We are about to go from a very tall ceiling to a very short ceiling, so please watch your head as we go through our serpentine passageway here. The other thing is, I mentioned our bats. Sometimes they like to fly through here. So if you do see one, please don't try to swat at it, scream at it, or grab it. Simply duck and let the person behind you worry about it. Alright, let's move on.
Naja, sie hat jetzt halt erzählt, was hier alles so passiert ist und dass hier halt eine Frau zum Beispiel mit einem Hot Air Balloon, also auf dem Dach von dem Hot Air Balloon quasi, nach oben geflogen ist, damit sie die erste und letzte Person ist, die jemals die Decke hier angefasst hat. Oder dass sie hier
das könnte übrigens auch ich sein.
5 heiße Ballons einfach haben fliegen lassen, so rekordmäßig, dass die Hochzeiten veranstaltet wurden und pipapo.
I can literally just stand up in here.
A few more feet.
No handrails.
It's actually not that bad. There's one section where you kind of have to scoot down, but it's only just 60 this up. It's gorgeous. They do it
Was denn? Das habe ich nicht gehört. Ja, ich bin in der Höhle, wo alle rum. Und du fühlst das immer.
Hi guys, welcome in. If you would take a look over that railing over there and then fill in this space, we are about to talk some more.
Ja, der war eine Fledermaus, aber die hing an der Decke in so einer Ecke. So groß. Voll lieb.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Well, for those of you who have been in this room before, does anybody remember what the name of it is? Shoe room. Yep, it is the shoe room. If you look up, you'll see that we have the toes up here, the arch over there, and then the heel back there. Guys, this room was discovered in 1869 by a man named Henry T. Blow. But when he found this room, it didn't exactly look like this. It looked more like this. Henry T. Blow was one of our first explorers in this cave. When he came to this room, he kind of hit a dead end. He looked over here, and he noticed, okay, there might be a passageway there, but it was filled to the ceiling with icky, gooey, gross stuff. And then he looked over here, and he said, okay, yeah, there's a drop-off there. So he picked up a pebble, and he tossed it over, and he waited, and he waited, he waited, and he didn't hear it hit the bottom. So he picked up a little bit bigger of a rock, and he threw that in there, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited, and again, he didn't hear anything. So he picked up a little boulder, and he threw that over, and again, guys, he did not hear a thing. So he's a little nervous at this point, because when he walked in this room, it got a little warmer. Did anybody else notice that? Yeah. The natives called this place Devil's Den, and now there's a bottomless pit. So I'll let you guys put those pieces together. But anyway, frustrated that he wasn't finding what he was after, he was actually after lead. He looked up and he saw the ceiling was very flat. There were some dark spots, but also some lighter spots. And he thought, okay, it's not lead, but I think that's marble. So out of that came the Marble Mining Company, which is how our cave got its second name, Marble Cave. But with that company came the hiring of a geologist. And that geologist took one look at that ceiling there and he said, no, it's like 99% of all the other rocks in the state of Missouri, guys. It's limestone. It's completely worthless back then. But that was okay, because there's actually something just as valuable in this cave. Does anybody know what that icky gooey black stuff would have been over here? Yeah, it was bat guano. And that was actually what, it was filled to the brim over here, and that's why he didn't hear his rocks at the bottoms, because it was just landing in poop. So they started mining that stuff out, and it was worth about $700 a ton back then, because they used it for explosives and fertilizer. And so that was actually a lot of money back then. Guys, can you imagine having to mine all that stuff out by candlelight? I mean, imagine your candle goes out. That's okay, guys, we don't have to imagine, because we have a candle, right? Guys, this is how dark a cave can be. And if you're a little unnerved by this and you want me to turn the lights back on, just raise your hand for me. Y'all did great. We are about to move on, but again, like every other stop, there are some safety things I would like to go over. We do do have our caboose back there, so he's going to be charged with that. We're about to go down some uneven walkways, so if you would please make sure you're holding on to those handrails as we go down. There's also a pesky little rock down here called Tall Man's Headache. That is the reason why we have that little cutout when you come in to our cave, so just be mindful of that as we move on. Alrighty guys, let's keep it moving. Because if you look up, these rocks might just look like clouds.
Alter. Da liegen noch ein paar neue Handbrands.
As you guys are making your way down, you might see this big pot. They would carry these out by hand and also with donkeys. The donkeys, which were lowered into this cave by ropes. Oh, wow. Donkeys are hard work. They should get some money. You can get some money for that.
Entschuldigung, das ist keine Normtreppe. In Deutschland geht das nicht.
Dad, you might have to go. Dad, Mom, you have to go.
Das ist so klein, du fällst dir mit dem Arsch über die Handrail.
Mach mir eine Tiny House.
Ach du Scheiße. Das ist ja geil.
Are they counting with the 150?
Are you counting?
Are they counting with the 150
Oh, yeah.
upstairs?
Yep. On the stairs.
Woohoo! We got some. What's your head?
Krass. Uschi, erklär uns, warum man, wenn man in eine Höhle läuft, sofort zum Neandertaler mutiert.
Glaube ich, jetzt ein bisschen enger auf dem Boden.
They look like baby bats, but they're full grown. So they're really cute, honestly. Just right here.
Das Geräusch, das ich hören will, bevor man in die Höhle runterklettert.
So this is our waterfall. This is where we get all of our flooding. So when I started Memorial Day, we did the water all the way up to the ceiling there. Wow. Yep. It floods pretty fast. We have a lot of underground rivers that we get from the north. And then so when they get rain up there, we get all of it down here. Wow. So if it rains like it's supposed to this week, I bet it's going to flood the Francisco.
Die trägt die ganze Zeit den Defi mit, ne?
Ach Quatsch.
Ja.
Ach komm.
Oder hier so ein Medical-Koffer halt.
Vielleicht sollte sie ihn dann gleich selber brauchen.
Hier ist der frische Leben, ne?
So back in the 1800s, they would crawl army style with this handle. So like this is the only, this is usually filled with mud. This is why this is the only one that had to be dug out. The rest of them are pretty natural. Obviously, we've done some stuff to like make foot walls and stuff. Right.
It's like a piano.
That's cool. Okay.
I have to be careful because these shoes can slip back. Even though I'm not going to get
Hello guys, welcome to Mr. Cool Room. Take a seat if you need to or look around, doesn't matter to me. We are going to stop in here for a minute. If you have any questions at this time, I'd be happy to answer them. What is that? Do you remember damage where you was one of those things that you have to do, right? That's the point out.
Guck mal, die haben sowas wie Hidden Mickey, wir sind Hidden Diner.
Cute.
And we have an upper and lower path. We just switch them off every few years to do maintenance on the other one. So we're on the upper trail today. Question? Yeah. This one? That one is completely natural. This one has a little bit of help, but the waterfall room, all that water comes from underground lakes and rivers. Yeah. And that's where we get our flooding. So the ceiling in there, that was full during Memorial Day weekend. Because when we get rain up north and when we get rain here, it all goes in there. We do know it drains out into the Table Rock Lake. We have no idea where though. And that kind of goes with this. This passageway, the longest they've ever been under there was 9 hours because it is mostly underwater, so they had to take oxygen with them. They made 9 hours and then had to turn back, so we don't know where it comes out at, but we're pretty sure Table Rock is. Yeah.
Also in dem einen Raum eben hat er erzählt, dass der Typ, der das entdeckt hat, hat gedacht, an der Decke ist Marmor, war aber wohl was total Wertloses. Der hat ja auch nur im Dunkeln mit einer Kerze da rumgechillt und hat dann so ein paar Steine runtergeworfen und es kam nie ein Geräusch.
Ja, er wollte wissen, wie tief das da runtergeht.
Ja, genau, weil er wissen wollte, wie tief es runtergeht. Egal wie groß der Stein war, es kam nie ein Geräusch. Und dann irgendwann haben die gemerkt, da um die Ecke, da könnte es auch lang gehen, aber da ist überall so Itchi-Glitchi-Zeugs an der Decke und das war Öl. Genau deswegen hat man auch nicht gehört, dass der Stein da runterfällt, weil der in das Öl gefallen ist.
Ja, cool.
Hello guys, welcome to the Mystic Pool Room. This is actually my favorite room in the cave, mostly because it is a great reminder that without this cave, our city in Branson as we know it would not exist. So if you guys know a little ride up top called Mystic River Falls, well, this is the original, guys. Every single big ride up top you can kind of trace back into cave origins. So Fire in the Hole, if anybody's ridden that, it tells the story of the town of Marlborough, which was the original mining town. And legend has it that the bald knobbers burned it to the ground because they didn't like that a Canadian had come and taken over this cave. So there's that, and then you have Thunder Aiken, Powder Keg, Outlaw Run, I guess Time Traveler 2. You can all tie that back to right here, nice little bow. So our city was actually built as a waiting room for people who wanted to take this cave tour. So without those original guests, our city would not be here. The other really cool thing about this room in particular is this formation that's above this wall right here, the ceiling here, you'll be able to see it as we make our way up. It's called Blondie's Throne. Now Blondie's Throne was named after a little boy named Charles. He was 8 years old, and his father was a back when it was Marble Mining Company days. Well, one day he decided he wanted to go exploring by himself. So he took one candle with him. He army crawled his way through that mud tunnel here. He was climbing, stinking around, and that candle went out. So poor little Charles, left in complete darkness. You guys saw how dark it could get in the cave earlier. He kind of felt his way around until he came up to the top of Blondie's throne, and that's where he fell asleep. So meanwhile, his father and all of the miners had dropped everything in search of him. They were calling for him, and they were searching all the caverns that he knew about, but he was sleeping. He couldn't hear him. So they got to this point, and they're still calling for him, and he's still not hearing them. So they're climbing up here with their candles, and it wasn't until the flames glinted off of his beautiful golden hair that they found him. We're not sure how long Charles was up there for. It could have been hours, could have been days, but Charles actually came back to be a tour guide later on in the early 1900s. So Charles's history here runs very deep. That's about it for this room, guys. We are about to make our way up and hope and pray that that train is there for us. So when we get up there, guys, I need you all to board that train in an orderly manner. We are going to do 15 for a car, and we're going to do 3 to a bench. No lap sitting unless we deem it necessary, all right? As we go up here, we are going to encounter 2 more pesky rocks. The Noggin Knocker and the Rock of Many Names, names which cannot be repeated since we have little ears on this tour today. Okay, guys, use those handrails on our way up, okay? And we are going to go by Blondie's throne. Please do not touch it. It is a living formation, and I'll point it out again when we get over there. All right, y'all? Follow me. Most of the ones that have either lights on them or are in reach are okay to touch. Okay. Yep. Here's rock number 1, folks. Right behind here. Sorry, I didn't mean to line up.
So, jetzt 150 Stufen, die nicht genormt sind, die mega glatt sind, vorbei an irgendwelchen Felsen hoch. Geht's? Wenn du vor willst, sag Bescheid.
You guys are passing by this right here. This is Blondie's throne, all of this. Okay, one more flight, y'all. We're almost there. Let me tell you.
Geht's?
Please remember to look over the edge, but also look up because it is beautiful.
Wow, that's like the prettiest part of it.
And that fills up water?
Let's go for the end. Make sure you're looking up and down. Up and that formation over there, that is what we call the broomstick.
Jetzt weiß ich, warum sie den Defibrillator mitschleppt. So, jetzt ein bisschen wirklich nochmal so Lara Croft-Style oder wie auch immer. Sie macht jetzt gerade hier diese fette Stahltür auf und dahinter steht jetzt unser Zug, der uns wieder an die Oberfläche bringt. Hier ballert auf jeden Fall die Klimaanlage. Also,
Da oben ist auf, ich glaube, das zieht.
ja stimmt, ist Durchzug. Aber ich würde Verbesserungsvorschlag, jedem kaltes Bier in die Hand drücken, wenn er hier rauskommt.
you guys enjoyed the free air conditioning because we are about to be very warm.
Hier in so einer Standseilbahn, die jetzt nach oben fährt. Und du sitzt ja sehr schräg, weil es auch sehr steil aus dem Berg erstmal rausgeht. Sobald es aber ein bisschen gerader wird, sitzt du wie ein Idiot hier, weil der ist ja nach vorne gebeugt. Und es ist eine Standseilbahn, wo es jetzt der andere Wagen auch noch entgegenkommt. Wir sind kurz vor der Weiche, wo wir...
Train, which means you're going to be seeing our ghost train pass by us in just a second. It's helping hoist us to the top.
Was ich so auch noch nicht gesehen habe, der Bergauf-Track und der Bergab-Track teilen sich die mittlere Schiene. Also das Gleis, die Schiene in der Mitte ist vom rechten Gleis die linke Schiene und vom linken Gleis die rechte Schiene, wenn man versteht, wie ich das meine. Ich habe noch nie so viel Handrails benutzt und es ist, glaube ich, auch unter Denkmalschutz das Ding. National Landmark ist, glaube ich, Denkmalschutz. Sehr cool. Also wenn ihr hier seid, macht das auf jeden Fall. Ist im Eintritt inkludiert.
Eine Stunde an der Wakes.
Krass.
Fast genau.
Ja, hat auf jeden Fall Bock gemacht. Also, das ist nochmal so ein Gleis. Ja, dass sie sich das in der Mitte teilen.